Hey guys, I'm going to make this brief. I'm just doing a test report to see if I can do these videos okay and to see if I like it. I realize my voice sounds really nasally. I don't actually sound like that in real life, but hey, that's what you're going to get. I'm playing Empire. My opponent is playing Lizardmen. He's got 2 Slan in a block of Saurus. He's got a big bus of Saurus Cav with 2 Scarvet characters inside. One has a 1-up rerollable, one has you have to reroll wounds against him. And he's got a bunch of skinks, some chameleon skinks, some jungle swarms, and another block of Saurus. I have 2 Demigryph Knight units, 2 units of Knightly Orders with musicians. Demigryphs also have musicians. 2 blocks of Halberds, about 30 strong. I have a level 4 Heavens Wizard. I have a level 1 Bright Wizard who I'm taking out. He was awful. I have a General Archlector with the Speculum, so hopefully he gets in some challenges throughout the weekend of this tournament. And I have a Captain BSB. I have 2 Hellblasters, 2 cannons, a steam tank, and I think that's about it in my army. I have a detachment of 5 archers. So I'm going to do a brief overview of the game. I didn't get a chance to take all the pictures that I would like, and I wasn't really thinking of how it would translate into a video, so it might not be the best, and hopefully it's easy enough to follow. As I said, as I get better at this, if I decide I want to get better at this, I'll probably be a little more diligent with taking pictures of deployment and going over scenario and stuff like that. This scenario is just battle line. It was game 1 of Wet Coast GT Grand Tournament, which is a local tournament, and it was pretty fun overall. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the game. Alright, so this is after deployment. My knights have moved up to apply some pressure on his Saurus Cavalry bus. Hopefully he'll charge me and I'll be able to draw him forth into the line of my guns. That's the plan. His Slan are behind that building to the top right. That building ends up being a huge pain later in the game, and you'll see why. The Chameleon Skinks deployed a little bit to the left of the Knights. I'm hopefully going to take them out with a steam tank. My Demigryphs here move up, and I'm thinking I could easily tank that group of Saurus between the little impassable terrain hut and the building to the left. I do indeed charge them in. He's got some skinks that are advancing up, probably to pressure some war machines if he can. And I have 5 archers that are hopefully going to distract the skinks. So now in deployment, I didn't realize he was doing this, but he was deploying in the leftmost corner, and I unfortunately threw down some demigryphs and some other knights in the rightmost corner of my deployment zone, so that was a little bit of a mistake, and these guys proved to be a little bit useless in the game. I just didn't expect it coming, I guess. So my steam tank is trundling off towards his most scary unit, which is what your steam tank should be doing, I guess. And I basically moving my bunker block at the bottom of halberds closer to all my guns so that they can all benefit from harmonic convergence is the plan. Other than that, I think I did get harmonic convergence off, and we'll go into shooting. So here he's got some kind of cool conversions for his chameleon skinks. He took regular skinks and did some crazy googly eyes on them, kind of Muppet-like. I thought it was funny. And the other half of them are in barrels. They're hiding, which is kind of fun. These guys are going to come shoot at my Hellblaster. I don't think they managed to kill it. I think they only did 2 wounds, so they got 2 poisoned, and then luckily for me, I got another round of shooting off of my Hellblaster. And you can see what it did. It basically annihilated that unit of knights. I think there were about 10 Saurus Cav there, and 2 Scarvets, or maybe 8 and 2 Scarvets. Anyways, I shot with a Hellblaster first, killed a lot of the Cav. Now there's less than 5, and he couldn't get a lookout, sir, so I cannon sniped the 1-up rerollable Scarvet, I think. So the Demigryphs do indeed charge the Saurus, and I get off a Ice Shard Blizzard, it looks like, onto the Saurus, so they're -1 leadership, -1 to hit. These guys do nothing in this combat, but of course they stick because they're BSBs, one of the Slan right beside them, and they're cold-blooded, so they never run. It's alright. I hopefully will beat them in the next couple rounds. Don't think there should be much of a problem. Looks like a Jungle Swarm charged the Hellblaster. He didn't actually kill the Hellblaster, and the Hellblaster ended up killing him outright. I think he already took 3 wounds from maybe my archer shooting at him. And yeah, my Hellblaster will be free to shoot in my turn again. My Halberdier block is looking to advance forward. Little do I know, but he plans on running everything away. I've never really faced Lizardmen before, and especially against a good player like Peter was. Looks like his knights go into my knights. They're gonna die. My knights, that is. The Saurus hero Scarvet is just gonna tear them a new one. But hopefully I'll be able to shoot him up the next turn. I think at this time my steam tank went into his chameleon skinks and just erased them off the board. And what the heck happened here? He got off 4 light buffs with his light slan onto his Saurus and just utterly annihilated the demigryphs. He didn't actually do many wounds, but due to static combat res and maybe 1 or 2 wounds that he did squeeze through, he ended up breaking the demigryphs and he caught them. So that's kind of annoying. Very fluky, but hey, it's going to happen. Here's a general overview of the board. I probably shot my Hellblaster at the Saurus, and he's going to end up running them away. The Skinks take out my archers within the next round of shooting, and my Halberdiers actually advance towards the Saurus, because I figured what's going to happen. He's going to start running. And he makes really good use of terrain in this game, actually. And I say he makes really good use of terrain because I ended up getting stuck by all these impassable huts. I think my demigryphs there just finished killing a jungle swarm and reformed to face that way. Otherwise they'd be going into the hut and that would muck them up for the rest of the game. They're looking at charging some skinks, but we'll see how that turns out. The knights behind them are just doing dick all the entire game. So it begins. His Saurus start charging into my war machines and engineers, just taking them off one by one. I really need to work on my spacing of the war machines, and I think since this game I've got a little better. My plan is putting the cannons about approximately 8 to 14 inches away from the Hellblasters on either side. That way the engineer can kind of bounce between the two for whatever I need to get done. If there's monsters I need to kill, I'll go to the cannons. If there's a lot of infantry and armor, I'll go to the Hellblasters. Generally, if things aren't in range, I'd rather go to the Hellblasters. So here, the steam tank advances up, and at that point, my opponent looks to a guy beside us and says, "Hey, can steam tanks charge buildings?" And the guy says no, because they're a chariot. So he puts both of his Slan and the Saurus inside the building, and my steam tank is useless, pretty much, on that edge. And that was the initial target for the steam tank. So he's going to kill the steam tank eventually with metal magic, which one of his Slan was. As we can see here, I charged the Skinks. They fled through the impassable terrain, and his Saurus do indeed start backing up. I have no idea why my level 1 wizard came out like that. I think it might have been to... Maybe I was worried about all the points dying in the one bunker. I have no idea why I did that. I think it was a dumb move, and I think he died from shooting or magic. So what happened here was my halberd block charged a unit of skinks, actually just wiped them out. He held because if he didn't, they'd be going into his Saurus, and he didn't want that. The knights charged the Saurus, and here my opponent did something a little weird. He actually held with the knights, and then after he realized my steam tank could indeed get into his Saurus, he went back and changed his mind and said he'd flee. But the steam tank ended up getting removed by magic anyway, and the demigryphs charged the skinks again, and they again fled through the impassable, and I stop. I would have caught him actually, but because of the stupid terrain rules, I was stopped. So again, he made really good use of the terrain in this game. I think I did my deployment a little poorly, and maybe didn't make some. Maybe a few decisions I made weren't that great. I think the steam tank should have gone into the Saurus. I did end up killing the all of the Saurus cav, but not the character who was still taking out war machines off the screen. Anyways, let me know what you think of my first battle report. I will try and do more. There's a couple tournaments I have coming up within the next few months. I'm really interested in doing War Machine and Hordes battle reports as well. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy it, and hopefully I'll be making more of these. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.